We often associate her with being a prostitute, even though there's nothing that actually says that's what she did. And so let's look a little bit. Now what's interesting is we read about Mary Magdalene from the Gospel of John in terms of what happened at Easter. But the Gospel of Luke is actually the only Gospel that mentions when she becomes a part of the group of disciples following Jesus. So it says this. It's chapter 8 of Luke, so you can look at this later. Chapter 8, the first 3 verses. It says, soon afterwards, Jesus went out through cities and villages, proclaiming and bringing the good news of the kingdom of God. The 12 were with him, as well as some women who had been cured of evil spirits and infirmities. Mary, called Magdalene, from whom 7 demons had gone out, and Joanna, the wife of Herod's steward Chusa, and Susanna, and many others who provided for them out of their resources. That is the only time, other than Easter, that we know, at least by Mary Magdalene, that Mary is referenced. There are debates and arguments over whether she's Martha's sister and Lazarus' sister or not. We don't know for sure. Think maybe she was, maybe she wasn't. But that's the only time actually in the Bible that it mentions Mary Magdalene coming and being part of Jesus' followers. And unfortunately, as I looked around this morning for a picture of Mary Magdalene, I don't really see her in our windows. And if you look up above at our saints, they're all men. So one of the ways that the church, unfortunately, in the past has minimized female leaders is by, 1, not really recognizing them, or 2, giving them labels, like Mary Magdalene was a prostitute. Now, for myself, if she was, it's even more impressive. It's even more impressive that she's able to become a leader among leaders, even in the midst of the lifestyle she was kind of forced to be. But either way, Mary Magdalene is an example for us. From her introduction to the resurrection, Mary is a role model for all Christians, all followers, all disciples of Jesus. Because she experiences things and then she responds. And that's often what we talk about when we talk about how are we followers of Christ? How are we disciples of Jesus? Is that we experience something and then we respond. So it tells us in Luke that she is healed from 7 demons. Now she could have just run off and done her own thing. But instead she responds and becomes a follower and a provider for Jesus and his ministries. As I mentioned to the kids, when it comes time for the crucifixion, while all the other disciples run off, except for John sticks around. But all the other disciples run off. Mary Magdalene watches, doesn't abandon Jesus in his greatest time of need. When Jesus has died and they're taking his body for the tomb, and again people are gone, Mary Magdalene follows them to find out where they're placing his body. And when she comes back, according to the Gospel of John, by herself, to take care of the body, to follow the cultural norms of the time, to do what you're supposed to do, she's there, nobody else. And she finds the tomb empty. She responds by going back and telling all the other disciples, telling the 12, he's not there. The tomb is empty, the body is gone. So Peter and the disciple whom Jesus loved go sprinting back. We get details about who got there first and how there was a race, which is just kind of interesting. And then they get there, they look in, see Jesus isn't there, and they leave. Mary is the only one to actually stay and to keep looking. Yes, Mary tried to get some help, but, us men, we just left it. Right, Mary's there to try to find Jesus. So she stays, she looks back in, and then the angels appear. The two angels in white telling her he is alive. He's not dead. They didn't appear to Peter. They didn't appear to John. They waited until they were gone and appeared to Mary. And as she turns, still wondering where his body is, she finds Jesus himself. Jesus himself, who appears to her, not Peter, not John, but appears to Mary Magdalene, and then gives her instructions. And she responds. She responds by returning to the group and telling them what Jesus told them to do. She is the first apostle to record, or not to record, but to tell others that Jesus has been raised from the dead. Why her window isn't up there, I'm not sure. She is the first person to see the living Christ and to tell others what that means and what they already did. But as I said, Mary is a role model for us. Mary has things to teach us as followers of Christ now. One thing she teaches us is generosity. She is one of the women, as we hear, to help financially support this ministry. She gives of her time, because she's following. She gives of her resources to make sure that this ministry continues. Sacrificial giving to support Christ and what he is doing. An example for us of our generosity, of using our time, our abilities, our interests, and our resources to further the gospel, to further the mission of God. We see dedication from Mary. We see her dedicated to Christ so much that she stays to watch him die. She stays to see where they lay the body, and she returns to take care of the body as their culture commands. While others run away, she allows risk not to get in the way, but takes it in order to respond faithfully to this teacher whom she loved. An example for us of how do we move beyond risk, move beyond fear, in order to follow Christ in our lives. We see some teamwork, right? She comes, she sees the empty tomb, and she goes back to the group. She doesn't just run off on her own, but she returns to the community so that together they can figure out what happened to Jesus' body. And even when that community kind of shows up and then departs again, and she stays and she gets this vision and she gets to see and meet Jesus, she still returns to the community, the ones who weren't willing to help, and tells them what they are going to do next. She didn't pull back. She didn't hide herself in fear, but she saw the situation. She saw something that was scary, and she went back to tell and to plan with the others. Yes, Mary is an unexpected leader. Just like the other Mary we talked about, Mary, the mother of Jesus, an unexpected mother. Probably this young 12, 13-year-old girl, Mary, the mother of Jesus, plucked out of just obscurity to be the mother of Christ. We talk about around Christmas that Mary's not a princess. She's not the daughter of the high priest. She's not anything important. She's just a faithful Jewish woman whom God has favor upon. Mary Magdalene is nothing special. And she's a woman. And yet they choose her above the other 12 to be the first to see the risen Christ and the first to tell others that he's alive and that the story isn't finished. Now, was Mary perfect? No. Because she went to the tomb expecting to find a body. She didn't understand, just like all the rest, that when Jesus said he was going to be raised in 3 days, that he meant that. When he told them a few times over and over again that I'm going to be rejected, tortured, killed, and then rise again in 3 days. And the rest of them kind of missed it because they didn't want to hear it or they didn't believe it. Mary was part of that as well. Mary went to the tomb expecting to find the body. But yet, even in the midst of this confusion, she remains loyal. So yes, this woman, who we hear as a faithful, dedicated, team-focused, God-focused, generous, faithful leader, who also got it wrong like everyone else, is chosen to break the social and cultural norms to be the first apostle of the living Christ. The first to share the good news that Jesus is alive. Again, an example for us that even when we find ourselves in the midst of confusion, or being unsure of where Christ is or what's going on or how God is working, that we remain faithful and trust that Christ is with us, that the Holy Spirit guides us, and that we are never abandoned. So yes, she is an example to us also, that there are times where we feel that we're nothing special, where we don't have anything to give, where we feel obscure and obsolete or whatever it might be, and yet, like we see with Mary, the mother of Jesus, and Mary Magdalene, and so many others, God works in us and around us and through and in and around the most unexpected people all the time. Each and every one of us in this place have a purpose as a child of God, as a disciple of Christ. We all have gifts and abilities that we can share in many different ways, that when we combine ourselves as this community, we are able to do much more than we could ever do on our own. And that there are times when we have to open our own eyes to hear the words and see the leading of people who are unexpected in our midst, people who we don't expect to be the leaders, stepping forward to use their gifts and their abilities, to use the gifts that God gave them for the sake of telling others that Jesus is alive. So yes, today we celebrate this first apostle of the risen Christ, the first to see Jesus raised on Easter Day, the disciple par excellence. I saw someone post that the greatest example of the disciples, generous, faithful, teammate, partner, leader, person who doesn't run away out of fear, who had every right to get angry at the men for ignoring her, but doesn't run off to start her own group, doesn't run off to start her own way, but yet returns faithful and determined to share this good news of Jesus. Mary's a wonderful example of what many people call the great salad bowl. You often hear people talk about places being a melting pot, where we come together, we're all kind of blended together. The way I often think about it is that life gives us the ability to be a great salad bowl. That we all bring different gifts and interests and talents and abilities and cultures and whatever it might be, and together we're very colorful, we're very talented, we're tasty, and we're very healthy. Now, there's some points we don't like the olives. I give my mom the olives from Olive Garden. We don't like the nuts. I'm probably a nut. Sometimes I feel like a nut. Sometimes I'm nutty. Sometimes you get the fruit in there, the raisins, or the strawberries we'll throw in. That's too exotic for me. But you get different types of lettuce, cabbage, carrots, cucumbers, mushrooms, onions, all these different things that together make something beautiful and healthy. We don't want it all mushed together, but we appreciate every bit of flavor combined together, celebrating the differences between the fruits and the vegetables that give us those shots of flavor and the different vitamins and the different minerals that help to make us healthy and strong. So Mary is a perfect example that she didn't fit the mold. She didn't fit what was expected. But she provided some flavor, some color, something different to this great salad bowl. And it leads us then, as we gather in community today, to celebrate all the different colors and flavors that we can add to this salad bowl, this community, to share the good news that Jesus is alive. To share the good news that although we're all different, we're united in that bowl of Christ. Oh, jeez, don't tell people I said Jesus is a bowl. That's right, I did. But a bowl of Jesus that holds us together, that's our unity. That's our ability to be one. While we celebrate the differences that make us better, beautiful. So that's our hope, that's our goal, that's the example that Mary gives. That's the example that we see in so many other people, unexpected Christians, unexpected followers, unexpected leaders, to help us see God in new and beautiful ways. Amen? Amen.